What is going on, guys? Welcome to the Erica Russo show. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. I am beyond excited that the universe has led you here today. And if you are an OG, you continue to come back, you continue to press play, you continue to lean into your own intuition, hug your inner child, do the motherfucking work, reflect, meditate, all the things. I love you. Thank you so much for showing up for yourself. Thank you so much for your continued support when it comes to this podcast. And if this podcast is helping you, if it's giving you clarity, if it's giving you those aha moments, if it's giving you a different perspective on things, if it's giving you a heads up as we talk about the astrology of what's to come, I would be eternally grateful if you can head on over to iTunes and now Spotify and leave a review. Those reviews allow this podcast to get to more ears. And now, more than ever, I think that conversations like these and the insight that is shared on this podcast can help a lot more fucking people right now, if I say so myself. Before you go ahead and submit that review, take a screenshot and send it over to me on Instagram at Erica W. Russo. And I would love to send a free gift to you for supporting this podcast. Now that that is all said and done, holy crap. As this podcast is being released, it is the second week or the third week of December, and I think that all of us are in a state of reflection. I think that, this happens to me every single year around this time. Specifically, it starts like the week before Thanksgiving, where I start to really reflect and think about what has transpired collectively, what has transpired in my own personal life, and really just see what has come to fruition, and then also begin to set intentions for the next year. And that's where we are right now. So this is a perfect episode for where we are at collectively, if I say so myself. And this is us talking about the 2025 astrology, but also giving you a little bit of insight as to the big and major transits of what's to come in 2026. So this is kind of a review before before we start the monthly astrology updates in January of 2026. So now that that is all said and done, let's talk about it. Okay, pull up a seat, grab your coffee. If you're driving, if you're doing the dishes, let's just chat. Okay, let's just put it all out there. Okay, 2025 was a monumental year in history, period. Okay, we had some major transits happen, and we have seen the aftermath, the manifestations of these transits. It's as simple as scrolling on social media. Now that that is all said and done, let's talk about the major transits that occurred. And the first one I need to bring up is Pluto entering the sign of Aquarius in mid-November 2024. Okay, so yes, I am well aware that that was in 2024, but that was really the major turning point when it comes to life, honestly, to be completely honest. And a couple of weeks after Pluto entered Aquarius. Now, let me give you a little bit of an overview of these two, of the zodiac sign Aquarius, but also the planet of Pluto. Pluto is a planet of upheaval, of demolishment, of change. It rips off the band-aid, not in the nice, like when I say it rips off the band-aid, it doesn't rip off the band-aid, it rips off the 7 layers of skin. Okay, Pluto is about transformation. It is not a light and fluffy planet by any means. And when we look at the collective, specifically, we look at the outer planets, which are Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus. Okay, and all 3 of them changed signs last year. Okay, Pluto entering Aquarius is monumental. Okay, for the last 18 years before it moved into the sign of Aquarius, it was in the zodiac sign of Capricorn. Capricorn is about strategy, it is about hard work, duty, ethic, doing what you are told to do. It doesn't care about emotions, it is about building structure, it is about listening to the man, so to speak. So, when the sign of transformation and also demolishment went from the very structured sign of Capricorn into the more humanitarian and innovative sign of Aquarius, things are freaking changing, let me tell you. Just a couple of weeks after Pluto went into Aquarius, we experienced the murder of the United Healthcare CEO. That's a very Pluto and Aquarius experience. We have also seen so many other things come to light when it comes to Pluto and Aquarius throughout the year of 2025, but that was the major turning point as far as the astrology was concerned. Now, in January of 2024, the nodes changed. They changed from the North Node went into Pisces and the South Node entered Virgo, okay? And Pisces is known to be the how do I call it? I like to call Pisces the high priestess. It is about the collective, essentially. It's the most empathetic sign. It's for the people, so to speak. And the nodes changing into, specifically the North Node changing into the sign of Pisces, really brought an air of community, I want to say, but also hope. Okay. One of the last times the North Node was in Pisces, Woodstock happened, the concerts in upstate New York. So it's kind of like that vibe. Now, the other transits that occurred in 2025 were Neptune entering Aries, which was on March 30th, Saturn entering Aries on May 25th, and Uranus entering Gemini. Okay, now here's the thing about 2025. All of these major transits only lasted a couple of months because they all inevitably retrograded back into the sign that they were initially previously in. Okay, so we got a taster's treat. That's what I like to call 2025. We got a taster's treat of what's to come in the upcoming years. Okay, and I'm not talking like just the next year. Some of these are very long transits. Uranus about an 8-year transit. Neptune is a very long transit. Pluto is a very long transit. Okay, so this is like generational of what's to come for us as the collective. So everything that we experienced though was just like so fascinating to me. Okay, so first and foremost, on April 21st, 2025, the Pope passed away. Okay, so this was a monumental event for people that are Catholic, but also for the world. Let's be completely honest. And this occurred 4 days before Saturn entered Aries. Okay, now I have to there's so much to say about all of these transits, to be completely honest. But I'm trying to give you guys the cliff notes so you have a better understanding of what is happening at the collective level. Okay, so we experienced the UHC, the United Healthcare assassination. We experienced the Pope passing away. Not to mention, guys, I think that we all somewhat forgot about the fires that occurred in California and how insane that was, which was, again, a couple of weeks, I think it was 2 months, less than 2 months after Pluto entered Aquarius, okay? And obviously the California fires really they were just so devastating. And I feel so bad for everybody that was affected in such a negative way. But it also began to shine light on the corruption in California. So that's a very Pluto and Aquarius experience. Now, a couple of other things that occurred during 2025 that I want to take note of because they connect to these major transits was on July 16th, 2025, the CEO of, I forgot the name of the company, but the CEO at the Coldplay concert where he was exposed for having an affair with one of his employees. This was a week after Uranus, the planet of upheaval and shock, entered the sign of Gemini, which is connected to technology. Okay, so when I saw this occur, I mean, we all saw it, let's be completely honest. I was like, oh, that's such a Uranus and Gemini thing. Because again, Uranus brings shock, it brings disruption. But Gemini is connected to technology. And, a billboard at a Coldplay concert, I would say that that's pretty technology, and it was being recorded by somebody in there. Like, it was just mind blowing that that occurred. Now, on August 1st, 2025, the comedian Matt Rife and his friend, I believe, I forgot, it's like Ethan. Anyway, he purchased the Warren house, which is, filled with haunted artifacts, and at the Ed and Lorraine Warren house, or the museum, I should say. Now, the reason why I'm bringing that up, because you're probably like, why is that? Why are you talking about that? Well, Matt Rife made his fame with social media, with posting content on TikTok of his live stand up shows. And the person that he purchased the house with, again, I should have gotten his name. It's either Ethan or something. He's a YouTube star, which again is all about technology. So the shock that a comedian and a YouTuber purchased the Ed and Lorraine Warren home is a very Uranus and Gemini thing as well. Now, we also had some things occur. I believe it was in the beginning of the year, we had the Mars Uranus opposition and the airplane issues occurred. This is a very common thing that happens when Mars opposes Uranus. Okay, so we had that happen. And then when the Mars Uranus opposition happened again a couple of weeks ago, there was like a UPS flight that unfortunately crashed, and there were a couple of casualties. I believe it was in Kentucky. But this is all like, it's just mind blowing once you begin to connect the dots of what is actually transpiring in our world and how it is impacted by the astrological transits and aspects. Now, another thing, a couple of other things that I want to bring up is the eclipse season, the second eclipse season that occurred. Oh, and that was another thing. The Pope passed away just a couple of weeks, I believe, after the eclipse season. And you're going to notice that we always have eclipse seasons, okay? There's two. Or, I believe in 2027 we're going to have three. But anyway, there's always two eclipse seasons of each year, okay? And you are going to begin to observe that people are going to pass away more often during eclipse seasons because, again, eclipse seasons bring major endings and major beginnings. Okay, so again, the Pope passed away around eclipse season in the beginning of the year, and then we had the untimely death of Charlie Kirk 3 days after the 3 days after the eclipse in Pisces. Okay, so we just it was just jam packed, like holy crap. Another thing that I wanted to bring up is on November 4th of this year, okay, there were some mayoral elections happening. And if you haven't heard, New York City has a new mayor elect, Mom Dami, coming in, who is a socialist. And when I found this out, I did some digging. Okay, so I looked at the natal chart for New York City. Okay, now New York City was actually established in, I believe, the 1650s, and it was called New Amsterdam. So I used that chart, and it tracks what New York City is about and how it was established. So when I pulled up the transits for November 4th, I'm going to be completely honest, which was the election day, it doesn't look good. It really doesn't look good at all. That was actually the day that Mars was opposing Uranus. So again, it brought a lot of shock and upheaval, but sometimes you just need to, I don't know. We will see. We will see what happens with that. Now that that is all said and done, that was really kind of the recap of what we experienced in 2025. Now let's chat a little bit about what to expect in 2026, okay? All of that plus more. I'm sorry. I'm just going to have a sip of coffee while you guys, digest that. So again, the transits, the major transits that everybody was talking about in 2025, we only got a couple months of them, believe it or not. I believe Saturn was only in Aries for like maybe 3.5 months, and then it retrograded back into Pisces. Neptune was in there for maybe 5 months. So we got a little taster's treat. We got a little sample pack of what's to come for the next, I don't know, at least 8 years. So what's going to happen in 2026 is February is a very busy month where the eclipse season is going to happen. And this eclipse season, the upcoming eclipse season, I should say, I am very interested of what is going to occur because the eclipses are now going to be in the sign of Aquarius as well as Leo. Now, we already spoke about Pluto being in Aquarius. Okay, so I can see major things transpiring once the solar eclipse occurs. I believe it's on February 17th in the sign of Aquarius, and it's going to be at 28 degrees. And I'm a little freaked out personally because my natal sun is at 29 degrees. So I'm going to be deeply impacted by this. I was actually deeply impacted by the lunar eclipse in Pisces as well, but that's neither here or there. That's a story for a different day, ladies and gentlemen. But we have the node shifting into Leo and Aquarius, which is very, very interesting. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that with the February astrology update. But Saturn will be, well, let me start from the beginning. Neptune will be going back into the sign of Aries in, I believe, late January. Saturn will be going back into the sign of Aries in, I believe, the 13th or the 14th of February. Uranus will be going back into Gemini. So just hang on to your hats. I believe that the second half of 2026 is really going to jumpstart things. For sure. But at the end of the day, I mean, we all signed up for this. We all signed up for this. Is anybody else just like, I don't know. I'm just absolutely, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know how to describe how I am experiencing the past year. I am sad. I am shocked. I am hurt. I'm disgusted. I don't like, there's so many emotions. You know what I mean? And I know that I'm not the only one that is experiencing all of this this way. Like it's a lot. Okay. And I know that I have a lot of empaths, a lot of intuitives that listen to this podcast. And, you know, for the past couple of months, sometimes it's felt very, very lonely. It has felt very like isolating. It has felt very like you just, you're just in shock. Like you don't even know what to do, who to talk to, who actually is not like fucking crazy. Like it's just insane. And people that you thought had a good head on their shoulders, people that you thought had good hearts and compassion for humanity, like they just didn't. And it's very sad. And as a psychic medium, I've said this a couple of times where when I started working with the Light Council, they, which was years ago, they always told me that there was going to be a great divide that occurs, where essentially those who are willing to go with the ebbs and flows of the universe, the ones that are willing to change, the ones that think for themselves, that kind of get it, they will inevitably come to the new earth. We've talked about it in, it's not a new topic. People talk about the new earth a lot in the spiritual community. And they essentially said that there was going to be a great divide, and holy shit, there was. There was. I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a piece of content back in 2024 that was around the internet, and a lot of people sent it to me, where it was Bashar basically stating that, he was talking about the elections, and he stated that if Kamala got into office, they would have like contact or something with the alien race, where I just think that's bullshit. I think that we've been already communicating with aliens for many, many years. But he also did state that if Trump got into office, there would be a war. And here's the thing. I do not believe, the first thing that we think about war is actual like military. I don't think it has anything to do with military. I believe that this is a war against the people, a war amongst the Democrats and the Republicans, to be completely honest. I believe that we're fighting ourselves. We're fighting our neighbors. We're, and it sucks. It sucks. And I remember, I was on one of my walks, and I remember like this kind of popped into my head that he stated that we are going to be in like essentially a civil war. And I'm like, fuck, he was right. Fuck, he was right. And nobody can tell me otherwise. We're at war with each other. We are at war with each other. And, I'm just getting to the point where I just don't even want to be part of this society. I don't want to be part of any party, because the right is just as bad as the left, because you just keep on fucking fighting. Like, just shut the fuck up. Everyone just mind their own business. And that's to the point where I'm at, is just like, nobody's going to win this. Nobody's winning. This is just a goddamn bloodbath. And I don't know what's going to happen. All I can do is hold on to my faith. All I can do is hold on to my relationship with myself and with God, and trust the process, because let's be real. This is fucking crazy. This is really insane. And I think that now more than ever, especially with Neptune entering Aries, especially with Saturn entering Aries, especially with just like everything that's coming down the pipeline in 2026, the most important thing that you can do if you want to help is strengthen your relationship with God. Strengthen your relationship with your own intuition. Think for yourself. Trust yourself. Who cares what other people are doing? Who truly cares what other people are doing? We have gone a very, very long time not listening to that inner voice. We have gone a very, very long time with doing what we are told to do. And the next, I would say, 20 years, 18 years, things are going to change. But ultimately, at the end of the day, change begins with us. I don't care how you find God. I don't care what religion you are connected to, Christian, Episcopal, Muslim, spiritualist, or if you don't really like any of those labels. You have to strengthen your relationship with God. If there is anything that 2025 has taught all of us, is that a lot of us lost God. A lot of us did. A lot of us lost the meaning of what it is to be human, what it is to be a neighbor, what it is to be a compassionate soul. So if there's anything, just find what wakes you up. Find what makes you feel God again. Whether that means going to church or getting a meditation pillow and just meditating every single day, writing in a journal, going into nature, hugging a tree, whatever the fuck that looks like for you, go and do it. Go and do it, because that's what we need. We don't need any more division. We don't need any more he said, she said. We don't need any more, I need to speak my truth bullshit. No, we fucking need God. We need God right now. Okay? So the way you can help bring God is just find what works for you. I think that in the olden days, we had such a deeper connection to our spirituality. Despite what religion we were connected to, spirituality and our relationship with God was a lot more important back in the day, in our past lives. And I think that this is the reawakening of that. I believe that this is going to bring more God into earth. And that's going to look messy, and that's going to bring a lot of heartbreak, and that's going to bring a lot of division. But ultimately, we have to trust. We have to surrender, and we have to hold on to what is right. So that's what I have to say about the 2025 astrology. And then again, what's to come in 2026. So much fun. I'm so excited. Are you guys excited? I am excited. But yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for your continued support. Be sure to come hang out with me on Instagram at Erica W. Russo for even more content. And may the force be with you. I will see you guys around the internet.